Hi, Sean. You got me?
Yes, I got you. Go ahead, Adam.
All right. Just kind of having the better part of the day to review everything. Um, what is the way out of this, generally speaking, as you see it?
Well, I think it starts with our level of execution, our level of complementary football. As I mentioned last evening, it's hard to win when you turn the ball over twice, and you lose the field position battle by 12 yards approximately, I believe it was last night. So, there's a formula here we've used for winning, and we've got to execute that.
Will there be any change in Ken Dorsey's status?
No,
Have you considered that at all?
no.
Oh, the last thing for me will be this, and I've been asked this a number of times today. I think we all know your defensive background and acumen, but given the number of issues you're having to solve right now on both sides of the ball, in your dual role as head coach and coordinator, do you feel at all as if you're spread too thin and you need to maybe alter your approach in some way moving forward?
Well, I think you look at everything, right? Every week you look to make adjustments, the necessary adjustments every week to improve your football team. So those are things that we'll do again this week.
All right, Sean, thank you.
All right, thanks, Adam.
Coach, good afternoon. Mookie Harkins, Waffle Sports 1080. Welcome back.
How you doing, Mookie?
I'm good, Coach. Last night you talked about the inconsistencies in playing two-dimensional. What would be your ideal vision of that, especially with the talent of running backs you have?
Well, I just think overall that you've got to be a two-dimensional threat. We ran a number of RPOs last night, and I think those are a part of that. They can be a piece of that, but there also then comes to when we hand the ball off, what does it look like, right? So we want to be able to do that and do it better than what we did last night.
Absolutely, Coach. And I witness you, hands-on, make sure that your team is prepared to play at an elite level. But how tough is it for you to cross certain things with all the injuries that this defense is going through? And how does it build trust with your younger guys that you're developing?
Well, you're right. We are banged up defensively, and there's a lot of guys that are out there playing that are doing a phenomenal job of stepping in, albeit they weren't scheduled starters for the season, and they're not blinking. I mean, they're stepping into some big time roles, and it seems like we've got a lot of injuries more so on one side of the ball right now, and we never want injuries at all, but they're kind of gathering up on the defensive side. So I appreciate the guys, how hard they're playing. The backups being ready to go, and that was again evident last night in the second half in particular.
No doubt, Coach. And we played the Class B championship in your house Friday night. I got a few tickets for you if you're in your office.
I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate it.
See you soon, Coach.
All right.
Hi, Sean. You've spoken so much about complementary football. You mentioned also how banged up you guys are on the defensive side. Do you foresee getting away from that at all? I understand that, sorry, I'm in the airport. I understand fundamentally, foundationally, the need for complementary football. But when you're so banged up, do you feel like leaning into offensively the talent that you have on that side of the ball and maybe empowering them, if that makes sense, the offense to be a little bit more aggressive? I guess my question is, does the pursuit of complementary football take away from your aggressiveness on offense?
I think that's a great question. It really shouldn't. And when we talk about it, complementary football is, as much as it stays the same with the same basic core concepts, it also evolves a little bit week to week with where your team is and which side of the ball in this case is healthier than the other. And so, full confidence in our offense and we're going out there to score. There's no breaks on the offense. We're going out there to score and score early and score as many points as possible. So that is the philosophy.
Many fans, as I'm sure your team, your coaches, are frustrated there seems to be a significant amount of doubt, more so than I've ever seen, with all due respect, in you. How do you respond to that? What do you say to fans that maybe doubt your ability to get this ship righted?
Well, that's what we're working on. That's what I'm working on here. And we've won a lot of games here, and for good reason, right? So we've got to continue to make the appropriate adjustments and put ourselves in position to win games. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we'll continue doing.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, Sean, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. You mentioned after the game last night that you kind of agreed with the assessment that when you've gone up tempo here the last couple of games, that the offense has just generally looked a little bit more in that rhythm that you talk about. You said you weren't sure why it maybe took so long last night to get there. I'm assuming that that's something that you guys reviewed as a staff today. What did you determine there in terms of why it took as long as it did to get to the level of functionality that you eventually reached?
Yeah, I think just, basically the long and short of it is wanted to get to some other styles of play, as opposed to, the quicker upper tempo no huddle or version of no huddle. So, just some things that we can look at and examine as we move forward, really, Jay, more than anything.
On the challenge on Trent's catch or I guess incompletion, just walk me through the communication process there, because knowing that how valuable that timeout was there, I have to think that's one where you got to be almost 100% if you're going to throw the flag. So, what led you to the decision to throw the flag?
Yeah, just the communication that I was getting, and again, I knew how critical it was with the only holding 2 timeouts at the time, and so never want to use those timeouts, and obviously that didn't work out in our favor. So that's something we have to learn from.
And just lastly, for me, you've said earlier that you have not considered any change with Ken, and I guess I'm just wondering if you could maybe explain your reasoning a little bit there, given that the offense is maybe not producing the way at the level that you guys would want it to, that fans would want it to. What is it that you're seeing from Ken day to day, week to week, in preparation that continues to give confidence that he's the right guy to fix this?
Well, I get it. I understand everyone's frustration. I absolutely do, and we're working extremely hard to make the adjustments we have to make, and Ken is doing the same. So I remain confident in Ken and our offensive staff, and we continue to work hard at improving and getting the results we're all looking for.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, Sean, I wanted to check on Christian Benford and Terrel Bernard, just if you have any updates on their status.
Right, they're injured. We'll see where it goes this week. Christian and Terrel, as well as Micah, and then Dane was injured last night as well. So the news on Dane at this point is he should be fine. The other 3, we'll see.
And just to clarify for Terrel, is he in the concussion protocol then?
Correct. Yeah.
Thanks. And then I was just curious, now that you've had more time to look at the film from last night, just kind of what you saw from Rasul and what you're expecting from him moving forward. Obviously, I know injuries can complicate that, but just kind of, his production.
I thought he did a good job, handled himself well. Short run up to the game as he got here Wednesday afternoon during practice. So he really only had 2 days to practice. So I thought he did an admirable job in getting himself ready to go and competing out there.